Wild Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Log on to thepalmbeaches.tv to learn more.
On this episode of Wild Palm Beaches, we're in Jupiter, Florida, at the brand new Busch Wildlife Sanctuary. An amazing place that aims to educate residents and visitors alike about the incredible creatures that call Palm Beach County home, with a mission of conservation for the future. Ecotourism is big business in Palm Beach County. From lions to loggerheads, our resident wildlife population is one of the things that makes the Palm Beaches a special place to visit. Aquatic adventures let you see our majestic sea turtles and tropical fish in living color, while our zoos, wildlife parks and natural areas give you an up-close look at everything from rhinos to alligators. It is here that nature is on full display. It's like nowhere else in the world. As one of the largest counties east of the Mississippi, we have lots of room to explore the wild animal encounters that are seemingly endless in the Palm Beaches. Ever wished you could swim with dolphins or get up close to a manatee? In the Palm Beaches, you can. From the Florida Everglades and the Loxahatchee River to the Intracoastal Waterway and the Atlantic Ocean, take a walk on the wild side and discover the great outdoors in a tropical paradise. Join me, James Currie, as we discover the wild Palm Beaches. Welcome to Busch Wildlife Sanctuary, a haven for injured and orphaned wildlife. Behind these doors, a team of dedicated and passionate individuals work to protect and rehabilitate the creatures that call this sanctuary home. The animals that roam this sanctuary have found a new place to live, and they seem to be making themselves right at home here in the wild Palm Beaches. We're with Amy Kite, Executive Director of Busch Wildlife Sanctuary. Amy, tell us about the new location. It's awesome.
Thank you very much. It's triple the size of our last location. So our northernmost 5 acres, strictly for our rehab. Then we have 10 acres, which is all of our educational ambassadors. People can come 7 days a week, wander around, meet them, learn about them. And then we left 5 acres natural. We've got 4 natural wetlands on the property we preserved. And someday I would love to build like a boardwalk through so that people could really learn about the plants that are native to Florida and how to help protect these ecosystems. But it's been quite the adventure.
So tell me about moving all the animals. That must have been quite the feat. How long did that take?
5 days, 300 animals in 5 days. And the thing that impressed me the most was, the past few years I've been tied up with, fundraising and donor cultivation and building permits and contractors. And during that time, our staff was really focused on the animals. So I'm really proud to say that of over 300 animals, only one of them had to be darted. Everybody else was trained to walk into a kennel and allow us to shut the door, or to willingly take a hand injection of sedatives. So I'm pretty proud of these kids. They did some really good stuff. So we've expanded our educational opportunities. We're now open 7 days a week instead of 6, so people can come Monday through Sunday, 10 to 4:30. And we've got over 600 free public programs, and they change daily. Everything from story time to wetland talks, conservation corner, and all just different types of topics.
And we're not the stars of this show, right?
No, of course not.
So tell me a little bit about the star attractions here at Busch Wildlife Sanctuary.
So, we definitely brought our large apex predators over. Our bears and our panther and our alligator all moved over.
So one of the questions I always get asked is, oh, I found a baby bird, or I found a baby raccoon or a possum. What should people do when they do find these animals on their properties?
So technology is the best thing ever, as far as this goes, because we always recommend take a picture, take a video, something you can do safely, and then send it to us. That way we can really identify if it's a situation where maybe that's a baby who's used to being left alone for multiple hours, like a deer. Mom will leave them alone for 8 or 12 hours a day. We can identify that and kind of talk you through it. If it's something that we see that it's like, no, that needs help. It got attacked by a cat, maybe. bring it on into us. So it's really helped us also with identification. You know, people's initial reaction when they see a snake is often, kill it. No, you know, send us something. Let us, you know, help you, educate you, and work with you on it. The new hospital we have is triple the size, so we're equipped to take on even more animals should the need arise. But we really not just focused on that, but also our re-nesting program. Is, you know, if you do find one of those baby animals and maybe it's in an inappropriate location or it just needs a little bit of help, we'll work with you on how we can actually get those guys, you know, stabilized and then get them back to their parents because they do such a better job than we can. Well, you want to go see some animals?
Well, I didn't come here for the coffee. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Wild Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Log on to thepalmbeaches.tv to learn more.
Florida is home to a wide variety of wildlife waiting to be discovered. The screech of an osprey spying on fish, the hoot of a great horned owl echoing through a pine forest, the shimmering eyes of a raccoon at night. The Busch Wildlife Sanctuary in Jupiter started as a rehabilitation center for sick, orphaned, or injured wildlife in 1983 and has grown into a sanctuary where the public can observe Florida's native wildlife and ecosystems. The sanctuary's mission is to protect and conserve our state's wildlife and natural resources. Busch continues to provide free medical and rehabilitative care to wild animals, treating more than 4,000 animals annually, but has added an education program to help visitors understand the native wildlife in and around town.
So these are our twin female Florida black bears. This is Taya and her sister Kiona, and they know that if they want to get a reward, they need to come over and sit like ladies. And they'll actually take the peanut. If you want, you can go ahead and give her one. And you'll notice she's actually going to shell the peanut and just eat the nuts, and she'll spit the shell back out.
So gentle.
Very gentle, very, very gentle. They really are sweet creatures. But all of this was kind of the beginning of shaping them to willingly take hand injections from us. So when moving day came, we actually started at 1 in the morning because it was September in Florida and it's very, very hot, and of course traffic as well. And they can't regulate their body temperature when they're sedated. So we showed up at 1 in the morning, they came over, they actually know how to present their hip to get an injection, hand injected them with, you know, no drama or no scared or anything like that. And then we were able to load them up, start some IVs just in case, load them into an air-conditioned moving van, and then brought them over, and they've adjusted really, really well to their new enclosure.
Set up like a small zoo, the sanctuary allows visitors to take guided tours or explore at their own pace. The sanctuary is filled with both native and non-native species that are either being rehabilitated or could not be reintroduced to the wild because they are injured, were rescued from an illegal pet trade, or were orphaned young and raised by humans. Visitors get an opportunity to view their wild neighbors up close.
This is Grayson. She is one of our gray fox, and she's obviously one of our ambassador animals. A gray fox should not be acting this way. And if we tried to put her back in the wild, people would probably get quite nervous. They might even think that she's suffering from rabies because of her weird behavior. So she's a permanent resident here, and she does a lot of traveling, going and teaching people about wildlife, not just throughout the state of Florida, but she also goes to Charleston, South Carolina every year for the big wildlife expo.
Wow, she's so cute.
She's such a good girl. Yeah, so the story with her is, you know, this gentleman, and I use that term loosely, showed up one Sunday morning to our wildlife hospital with a juvenile fox, her, and said that he was a foster parent for another wildlife sanctuary and that he couldn't take care of this fox anymore and could we take it? That made no sense. You know, if you're fostering for someone, you take their animal back to them, you know?
Right.
Also, you would never foster out one animal on its own because it's not going to learn how to be a fox. And so we said, yeah, we'll take her, but can you tell us, you know, who you were working with so we can let them know where she is? And he literally turned around, bolted out the door, ran right to his car and took off without giving us any more information.
Wow.
So, of course, our best guess is he was probably trying to keep her illegally as a pet and then realized they don't make good pets. Even though she's a very sweet animal, you know, she loves to climb. She loves to get into problems. A veterinarian that I worked with once said, you know, foxes are basically a dog, with the capabilities of a cat and the brain of a ferret. So go, 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 go. And you can also smell also. They're a little ripe smelling.
Yeah. So it's quite amazing that these grey foxes they kind of managed to eke out this existence right in the urban areas of Palm Beach County. I know when I lived in Lake Worth, for example, there was a grey fox that would often come across the golf course over there, right in the intracoastal. And then on Palm Beach Island as well, I've seen them.
A ton of gray foxes around Palm Beach Island. Now they have the coyotes too that are headed over there. The thing with the foxes, they're so highly adaptable. You know, they're very opportunistic, so they'll rummage through garbage. Of course, they'll eat fruit that falls off trees. They'll catch their own prey items as well. So they've just adapted really, really well. And what a lot of people don't recognize is that they actually make it easier for a lot of wildlife in urban areas because of that. If you feed your cats outdoors, they love cat food. If you plant fruit trees that aren't native here, thanks, Also just leaving your garbage cans without a lid on them. These are all things that, people think wildlife should be in the wild, but it's hard in the wild to catch your own food and to find your own food. In an urban area, it's basically put out for a platter by humans.
Really incredible that within a few miles and sometimes right in our backyards, we've got all this amazing wildlife right on our doorsteps. It's so ticklish.
Oh, she wants your strap
God.
on your sunny. She just was like,
so
oh.
ticklish. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's so ticklish. Oh my goodness. Coming up next, more from the new Busch Wildlife Sanctuary in Jupiter, Florida.
Wild Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Log on to thepalmbeaches.tv to learn more.
Wild Palm Beaches continues from the new Busch Wildlife Sanctuary, a must-see in beautiful Jupiter, Florida. So who is this, Amy?
This is Esther, one of our burrowing owls here, and she's one of our animal ambassadors.
And she looks like she's a bit visually impaired.
She is. So she's had an eye removed. We believe, best we can surmise, she's most likely hit by a car since she was found along a roadside. That eye was basically ruptured and causing a lot of pain, according to our veterinary ophthalmologist who donates her time. And so she opted to enucleate the eye, remove the eye, so that she could lead a pain-free life. But of course that meant no more going back out in the wild again. So instead, she's been working with our education team to teach people about burrowing owls. They've got no feathers on their feet, which a lot of owls actually do have feathered feet. All the way up to her bone here, there's no feathers, and that's so that she can dig. They'll often share their burrows too with like gopher tortoises, indigo snakes, all sorts of things. So they're one of those species that's really important we understand and we take care of.
They're one of the owl species that are more diurnal. They spend a lot more time active during the day versus other owl species that are purely nocturnal. Do you see that with her as well?
We do. She's become one of those animals that's really good pretty much any time, but we do like to use her more for our daytime programs just because she's used to it like that.
It's incredible the way that she can turn her head right through. I think it's like 270 degrees or something.
Exactly.
Completely round. So an owl is just phenomenal because it can be sitting facing that direction and then turn around and just swivel its head all the way around and look at something behind it. It's just phenomenal. I love owls. They're so beautiful, aren't they?
They actually have twice as many bones in their neck as we do. So we have 7, even giraffes, all mammals have 7 bones. The owls, 14 bones. So that gives them all that extra rotation to look around. And it's because their eyes are too big to move. So they've got to move their head or they wouldn't be able to see around at all.
Really, I love what you're doing here at Busch Wildlife Sanctuary because you're educating people about the importance of wildlife, whether it's a snake or an owl, and eradicating all those misconceptions about wildlife right here in the Palm Beaches.
Well, thank you. That is the goal, is education really is the key. Our rehab efforts are kind of a Band-Aid on the bigger issue, which is coexistence. So that's what Esther's new purpose in life is, and I think she does a great job at it.
If you're planning a family trip to Busch Wildlife Sanctuary, you're in for a real treat. Not only is the sanctuary beautiful, but the wildlife programs are some of the best in the area. From feeding the animals to learning about their natural habitats, Busch Wildlife Sanctuary has something for everyone. Well, thank you so much, Amy. It's been so inspiring and inspirational spending some time with you and our animal stars right here at Busch Wildlife Sanctuary. It's been absolutely great. This is the Wild Palm Beaches. Coming up next, join us for the amazing story of a bird that traveled all the way from New York to the beautiful Palm Beaches.
Wild Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Log on to thepalmbeaches.tv to learn more.
Hey everybody, I'm Benji Studt and we're out here at Winding Waters Natural Area in West Palm Beach, and man do we have a story to tell. If you know wildlife rehabbers, you know how dedicated they are, and today's story is with our partner Busch Wildlife Sanctuary. They have an amazing bird with a wild story to tell.
We received a call from Green Chimneys Wildlife Center in Westchester, New York, and they had found an immature purple gallinule that was far outside of its normal range. One of their volunteers actually was out birding and discovered this bird, and it wasn't flying. So it came into Green Chimneys Wildlife Center with an unknown injury. The center rehabilitated the bird over the course of a few months, got it strong, got it healthy. It was doing great in their flight cages, but because they're in New York, they knew they weren't going to be able to overwinter it. And it was at that point they started reaching out to different facilities in Florida, trying to find a person that could take it over the winter and get it to some appropriate habitat. When they reached out to us, we suggested that they try to find one of their volunteers to bring it down to us. And it just so happened that the person who had initially discovered and identified the bird, their volunteer, was planning on taking a trip down to Florida. So it took him about 2 days to get here, but he drove the bird down to Florida, brought it into us last Friday. We checked it over in our hospital. The bird is fat and happy and feisty, and it's ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and bring it back home today.
So we're out here at Winding Waters Natural Area. This is one of the county's natural areas that are spread all throughout the county, but this is the perfect habitat for this particular bird, this purple gallinule. And that is because of this amazing restored swamp habitat that we have here. This natural area, Winding Waters, we already have an established breeding population of purple gallinules here at the site. Busch Wildlife calls us and they often like to try to figure out where the best spot to release rehabilitated animals is. And because we manage these areas and we know the wildlife here, we can really pinpoint where the best spot for these animals is going to be. Winding Waters Natural Area right here in West Palm Beach is one of the great places you can come and see these birds. The adults, they look like they've been just painted with a paintbrush. They're so vibrant, the colors. And people travel from all over to come see these birds because naturally they occur here in Florida and then a little bit throughout the deep south. All right, Kristen, so I mean, the colors on this purple gallinule are just so crazy. He's so feisty. So you see that purple coming in there. These birds are also called swamp hens or swamp chickens. They act a lot like a chicken. They're omnivores,
sure,
you know, they'll eat little bits of vegetation and insects, but their real cheat code is these enormous feet and toes. And that allows them to spread their weight out and walk across these lily pads and all of the swamp vegetation as they're looking for all those little bits of morsels to get fat and happy. But this is a perfect place and this bird is ready to go. So you ready to let it go?
He's ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's send him back to the swamp. Wow.
I gotta tell you, this is the best part of the job. By far, letting the animals go. This is why we do what we do. It's to help these animals persist and to give them a second chance. What I think is really something to recognize here is the collaboration that all of these different entities have. You know, we are all so far apart. We've got nonprofits, we've got government agencies involved. We all do separate work, we work separately, but when we need to, we collaborate so well. You know, it really is a small world. I mean, look, this bird made it all the way from upstate New York down to Florida, and it was just through this network of rehabbers. And then we have this amazing partnership with Palm Beach County ERM. They work so well with us to help us rehome animals that come into our hospital that need a safe place to be released. We don't always want to let these animals go where they were found. There's a reason they came into our hospital quite often. It's because where they came from didn't offer them the safest environment. So our ability to work with Palm Beach County Environmental Resource Management is huge, and it's something that we're so grateful for that partnership.
What an amazing time, what an amazing partnership, what an amazing bird. This is just one of the examples of one of the premier places that you can come and see purple gallinules with regularity and so many other birds out here at Winding Waters Natural Area. And it's a perfect spot to come and get wild in the Palm Beaches.